Blinds are 4,000, 8,000 as we continue on here. Sergey in the hijack, this time with King Jack.
You know, whenever Haxton's tanking, you always get a little worried, like, this guy's up to no good. He's got pocket queens this time. Definitely going to re-raise, trying to get some action.
I'll tell you another thing I love about commentating and also watching the Triton series. There's very little, like, needless tanking.
43,000.
It does make it 43,000.
A little bit on the small size, right?
Yeah, a little bit on the small size. Effective stack is a lot smaller. I think Lebedev is a little bit suspicious of the smaller sizing, but he does know that Haxton's got some bluffs here.
300 back.
So King Jack suited actually is probably getting the right price.
It's 25,000 to call. There's 81,000 in there. He's getting a little bit more than 3 to 1.
As long as your opponent is not 3-betting only queens plus, ace king, then he can consider making this call. And that's why he is going to call here. It was like the perfect size of just throwing one blue chip.
Haxton's making it easy for him. You can't go anywhere. It's too easy here. You got to call. Queen, 10, 8. How about top set here? An action flop. Open-ended straight draw plus the backdoor spades for Lebedev. And top set for Haxton.
Because this board is very connected, there's a good chance that Haxton's not going to slow play this hand. He thinks that when he makes a small sizing, his opponent's going to call hands like King Jack, 10 Jack, 10 9, Ace 10. These hands will definitely continue on the flop. You know, there's a lot of bad turn cards for him, right? Like a Jack or a 9 that could really kill his action. But, you know, Haxton, he is a tricky player. I would like to see him bet the flop.
32.
He is going to bet.
He obliges. 32,000. Sergey Lebedev, open-ended here. Pondering whether he should be raising this or just calling. What do you prefer?
It depends. I mean, I think calling is the standard play. The reason he would consider raising is if he thinks that Haxton has, like, is very ace-king heavy. Ace-king probably can't really commit all the chips on this flop too often. But he is going to shove here, trying to get his opponent to fold a hand like ace-king. Got top set. What an easy snap call. 28% for Lebedev.
Top set versus open-ended straight draw. There's a king. That's not going to help him, but the ace does.
GG.
Straight for Sergey Lebedev, and Ike Haxton's queens. No good here.
In these last weeks.
Yes.
Not just NFT drops, there's also price drops.
Indeed.
Okay. All right.
Brewer with the 2 jacks makes it 3,500 to go.
I was trying to figure out what I was raising to.
Ooh. Seth with a pretty nice hand here.
Yeah, the kind that threatens these 2 jacks.
Small blind versus tight under the gun opening range. Goes with a call against maybe somebody in a later position. Might have 3-bet a little bit more often, but just wants to call and lock up that value here, seeing a flop. And that invites Kuhn to come along to make it 3 with the 8-7 off.
10-4 deuce, an overpair for the jacks. As Davies king queen suited. Checks it over to Kuhn, who quickly checks as well.
A lot of incentive to bet here, right? You have an overpair, nice value hand raggedy board, you have a range advantage, and obviously all the overcards are potential losers for you, the ace, king, or queen. So no surprise he finds a bet. Davies here with a hand, especially versus a bet of this size, that I expect him to continue with, given the backdoor spades.
And indeed, he does call the 5K as Kuhn slides out of the way. 22,000 in the middle, and what a card that is on the turn. It gives Brewer a set of jacks, while it gives Seth Davies the spade draw and an open-ender.
Yeah, this could be a fireworks card here, because Brewer will certainly bet. There's no reason to slow play this with your hand is, you have the best hand possible right now, and there's a lot of draws out there to get value from and charge along with value hands.
Folding. 3-0.
Oh, wow, and he goes over bet.
Yeah, he sure does. And for Davies, it's a math problem at this point, Rast, where we do also have to factor in the implied odds we think we might have if we do make this call where the price isn't right?
I mean, really, it's not just about making the call. I mean, Davies going to take his time, but he's probably deciding between raising and calling, right? Given that he's out of position, if he thinks, it's like, how often is Brewer doing this with a hand that's going to fold, right, and just taking the pot down with king high, assuming that there, might be some times, like, what if Brewer's doing this with ace high, like ace 5, right, and then you just call and you just lose a showdown on a check river to ace high. So, he's probably thinking about that kind of math problem calculation. I don't think he's going to fold. His hand is just so big here with the open-ended straight and flush draw, right? I mean, if you're folding this, you're just really never continuing versus an overbet.
All in.
Yeah, and I like this play, even though this is the play I would have picked. So, unfortunately, he ran into it, but it's just too much hand.
Well, it's not unfortunately just yet, because obviously he is far from drawing dead. Just take a look at the number of outs that Davies has. Any ace, any 9, and any non-board pairing spade. Big sweat here for Chris Brewer in this massive 277K pot. And the ace of clubs on the end gives Seth Davies Broadway, and who can blame Brewer for having that expression on his face as he is dusted.
Did they give you a time bank, or do I still owe it? There's one.
Pretty.
So 102 registries right now. Started the day on 95. Tom Dwan said he was confident it would get to 120. We'll see.
Well, True Teller, I think when there was 60 entries, says, oh, guarantee 100. That's a phenomenal increase so far. I like that we call it the short deck main event now, because, short deck and long deck, 2 separate entities. Tom has flopped the nuts. Wylon Chan's got middle set. It's a pretty drawy board, so if you can get someone to commit some chips now, would be ideal, because a lot of turn cards that could kill your action. So he is going to raise. 50% from middle set? What? Shouldn't he be behind? I don't understand.
This goes in against so many years of no limit hold'em. Where when I see this, I think, oh, that's tough with a set,
Wylon Chan. Of course, tens is the one hand he's actually worried about. But if your opponent can have tens, they can have sixes.
What
Is gonna jam and snap call. And we got a coin flip. It's set over straight.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you get to see there. Like Tom is not like, oh, okay, he's gonna see like Jack 9, or you know somebody like Queen 9 of Hearts. It's just always something. You just gotta be thinking, all right, well, let's just ride this out, see what happens. Wow, 1.76 million.
Okay, there's some chop outs.
GG, Wylong Chen and Tom Dwan with a massive, massive stack.
That is such a big pot too. The ante's only 6,000. He lost
Yeah.
850,000. That's what, 120 antes? It's a lot. Tom Dwan with a stack. I see you smiling there. What are you surprised about my math? It was right, right?
No, it's 140 antes.
You're like, should I correct?
Yeah,
No,
I was
no.
kind of like, let's see, you know, what kind of day is this? How has he been nice to me today? I was like, yeah, he's been nice.
100 engineers who signed this paper saying like jet fuel can't melt steel. And you're like, okay, like I could probably find like 1,000 engineers who would sign one who says like it wasn't.
They killed them all anyway.
Yeah.
You know what's you should like the other
it's just like,
conspiracy.
You know, I think stuff like that, you're like, oh, I'm like an engineer, and then you like look up this guy and it's like, oh, you got like fired from like a community college like 5 years ago after like, you know, working there for like
there's
2
airline
years.
pilots. There's like an airline pilot one too, like an airline pilots against who signed this thing
Yeah.
that said that they didn't believe that these people could have flown a 747 or 727 into a building. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really care to be honest.
I agree.
So Jetten's flop trip jacks. Carrel did chip back
I'm
his
curious
pair
what
jacks.
specific Newtonian physics you would,
Jetten had trip
you would
sixes,
deem
excuse
to
me.
be relevant to the discussion of whether or not Americans actually landed on the moon.
I feel like you're just missing the point.
No,
I don't know the specific Newtonian physics. I took A-level physics and that's it. But I do know that people can, theoretically, hypothetically, and have in actual reality, taken
I don't think
physics
anyone's.
degrees
I don't think
and
anyone's
checked
arguing.
that themselves.
I don't think anyone's arguing theoretically if someone could have went to the moon. I
Yes,
think
they,
that's the
they
argument.
literally are. That's one of the biggest arguments.
I think a lot of people say that you could fly up to around the area, but actually landing on the moon's surface,
It's-
leaving and then leaving, is quite difficult. That's not. It hasn't been done since. No one else has done it since.
Now Charlie's got a two-way battle.
So that's not really a physics thing.
He's like, what do I focus on?
Have you seen,
Keep talking to him, Horala boss.
Apollo 11?
It's a shot clock
Yeah,
tournament
it's like-
too.
It's,
You
I was,
just
like,
lost the
in
cards.
theaters, saw it, and it was like one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like I was like blown away. I wasn't like. What's amazing is how. It
There's a call.
seems like you're like, oh, these guys really were just like winging it. Like there's a world where it's like, oh no, everyone like dies and like the end,
Wow.
right?
There's like a
Ouch.
pretty cool couple documentaries.
He's
that
just
are,
like, yeah, I'm listening to you
several
guys, but
months
no,
ago,
not
that
really. I'm
HBO
trying to
released
figure out how to
theirs. I
get
think
the
it's
most
called
value
Brewer
now that I
and
rivered
Davies.
full house.
And then there was a
This is
Discovery
when that
Channel one
45 big blind stack of Jetten comes into play, because he actually has a legit chance of busting here.
all like behind the scenes footage from everything
Now,
from the beginning.
Jetten
of
did a
the
pot-sized bet on the
project.
turn.
Oh, wow.
I think he's going to go big again with the trip sixes.
I think so too. The
Yeah,
flush draw misses as well.
Maybe orbited around the
It's an-
Earth, like the moon.
It's a pot-sized bet again.
Landing on the moon, using the reusable rocket to leave again, then breaking off.
Now we know Charlie Carrel
Coming
is
back.
going to shove here.
70 years ago as well.
What do you do here with Jetten? Trip sixes?
Long time ago as well, like, not
Yeah.
Pretty gross, right?
Yeah, it is really gross.
You got to also be
50 year
thinking,
anniversary was just a couple
who's
days
going to
ago.
bluff me this way?
Yeah. The one thing that you have going for you in terms of maybe getting away from it is the fact that you're in the big blinds.
Pretty cool.
All in.
I mean, the Russians took it
And
all.
you could have many cards. Jetten is supposed to have quite a few sixes here, because he's in a big blind. He already has a blind invested, so
I think the
it's
Dodgers
really
just
tough to
threw
bluff
up
somebody off this spot. But then again, you know, we see the cards, and folding trips with only 83,000 behind is quite crazy.
I remember
This
coming
is a
home
shot
from
clock
school
tournament.
last time
Jetten does have limited time,
blow up. The one that blew
and
up
it looks like
in like 1980.
he called and he's eliminated. Unfortunate for him, but this is an unlimited re-entry tournament, so he can get right back in it.
Yeah, I wasn't alive
Super
for
unlucky
that,
there.
but I-
Yeah.
30.
What conspiracy research professor?
But Jetten,
real.
he's
No,
been to
yeah.
every
I've
single
seen, like,
Triton
the
series,
videos and stuff.
Oh,
many
I watched
caches,
Really?
many deep
How did it
runs.
affect you emotionally?
I'm